What time's the Derby start?
Half an hour from now, Joe. Top of the
Smart
hour.
of you to say it like that because, a lot of different time zones in play.
Well, it's 5 o'clock local time because it's in Denver, but it is 8 p.m. on the East Coast.
Is it important to know what time the Derby starts?
The home run derby? I mean, there is a Met participating in the home run derby. That's why I thought Joe was asking.
It's one of those things that I like.
No, Joe didn't know there was a Met participating in the derby.
I did. It's Pete Alonso who's going up against Salvador Perez.
Yeah, it's easy first round for Pete. Easy first round.
Hopefully.
Everybody's here for Shohei Ohtani, who apparently hit one 498 feet during BP. So
we'll see.
As Samuel L. Jackson says in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
Apparently he hasn't taken batting practice all year, so we'll see if that affects
Ohtani?
him.
No, he hasn't. And so he's taking it now, which is fun.
What's up, Sam? Mike Dolphins. What's up, Dolphins craze?
We need
Dickie
all
G.
of your takes,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Dolphins craze dropped one in. I got a take for you, Joe.
Okay.
Mighty Swell is delicious.
Okay.
Mighty
That's my
Swell.
take.
All right.
This is a more of a administrative take. I feel like that's what the pre-show is. Like, we're not really talking about anything important during the pre-show.
Correct. We are BSing.
Right.
Yeah, I think people may enjoy that. Our hair's down, if we have it. And
My hair's actually up tonight.
well, I don't have hair that could be up. I guess it's always up.
Your beard's done up well.
Thanks.
Thanks, Braden.
Shall we? What's better than this? Guys being dudes here on the Draft Dudes live stream brought to you by Mighty Swell. I've got a blood orange tonight, Kyle. What is that, grapefruit?
Grapefruit.
Blood orange might be the best flavor, so I'm excited. Grapefruit. Do you ever think about Jimmy Buffett and the song Grapefruit, Juicy Fruit? Whenever you...
I can honestly tell you thoughts never crossed my mind a single time.
Jimmy Buffett
Not
fans
once.
here? Any parrot heads?
It's not going to be Kyle, though. I can tell you that.
Well, no, Jimmy's okay. He hit
he's okay.
Margaritaville and did the Land Shark beer, which I thought was pretty good. So
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
there
all
you
good
go.
except for the onion part, but yeah, it's good. I think Jimmy Buffett's okay. He's okay. He's not one of my favorites.
Takes on takes.
Takes on takes.
I
knew Kyle was a parrot head. There you go.
There's got to be one in here. And that dude puts on a show, from what I understand. I haven't been.
Have you ever been to the restaurants or whatever? The Margaritaville.
No.
The chain of sort of but it's like a burger joint kind of thing.
I've been to one.
Yeah.
Like I think there's one in Myrtle Beach. I think
there is. I've been to that one.
Yeah.
The food's not bad.
There's also
I think
chicken. They have one in Universal Studios, Disney. One of the two parks in Florida has one.
Standing out here in the freezing cold, waiting on some chicken sandwich.
Because the food's good. It's chicken.
I like fried chicken.
Dude, I had chicken for lunch and dinner today.
Was it Chick-fil-A?
Neither time it was Chick-fil-A.
Man, that kid in Buffalo who stood out in the freezing cold waiting on some free chicken sandwiches is just heartbroken that you didn't get Chick-fil-A.
Chicken. I like the chicken I make on my own grill.
Dickie G needs you to cheer him up because he's depressed over the Euros. I mean, sorry, Dickie. I mean, you can't come home if it was never home to begin with. So my apologies. Sorry. It's going to Rome instead.
You an Italy guy?
No, I just the whole idea of football coming home for England fans just is a thought that I just detest. So I troll England fans at any chance I get.
I'm an Italian fan. Marino.
What was that? Were you waving the white flag?
No, that was what I did. I don't. I regret it a little bit. Okay, give me a pass here. Let's move on. But I root for Italy in soccer, man, for sure.
Let's get some takes in here, okay?
Yeah,
let's do it.
We filibustered long enough.
By the way, I use Head and Shoulders shampoo for whoever asked.
There was a question about that earlier. I wasn't sure if you wanted that to head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Thank you, Kyle. Leading us off, this take from Dion Dunn. Once the contract for the 12-team playoff expires, the Power 5 conferences will leave the NCAA and start their own league and playoff.
Why would they do that?
More control, I suppose. But I don't know. There's all kinds of like cans of worms that have been proposed to be now open between the expansion of the college football playoff and NIL and all that kind of stuff. But that just seems like such a drastic. What was the thing that happened with the soccer leagues?
So I was going to make this comparison.
Yeah.
This would be the college football version of the Super League in European football, where a bunch of teams got together from a bunch of different leagues because they didn't want to actually qualify for the Champions League. They just wanted to use their name brands and make a bunch of money together, and they pooled together to make a Super League. That's what this would be. But I don't know if there's an incentive for those teams to create their own, guys, because like, are the top teams in college football really going to be shut out of a 12-team playoff or an 8-team playoff? Like, are the Alabamas of the world not going to get in on a year-to-year basis? Like, they're going to get in. The reason the Super League was a thing was because teams like Manchester United and Arsenal and Chelsea, those teams, when they sucked and they didn't make Champions League, they still wanted to be rewarded for that. That's what got people so upset about it.
Sounds like you should just play better at your sport.
Right. Whereas in college football, like Alabama, like they don't have to worry about that. Like they're going to be in. Like they recruit as well as anybody. True Williams finishes tied for second on the Dolphins in interceptions in 2021.
Apparently, he had Joe. He had good reviews at OTAs and minicamp.
Unsurprising, good football player, but between Holland, I mean, obviously, if Xavier Howard's on the team.
If Xavier Howard's off the team, can you get behind this take?
Like he's going to get that type of run?
I don't think so.
That's going to be the problem.
I mean, are we playing him at safety or are we playing him at corner? But if you're playing him at corner, I mean, you got McCourty, you got Igbenogany.
Coleman's a slot.
You got Byron Jones. You got Nick Needham. It's a lot of guys in front of him. Tell Holland's got a fun take there.
Get this take from Nick in first. Coach of the Year should be a 2 or 3 year award and reward coaches that build a contender over time rather than giving it to a coach that had a surprisingly good year. I guess this coming off the heels of the show that we put out this morning.
I like where he's going with this. I think that's more of a criteria thing where like like the voters, whoever votes on this should be a little bit more cognizant of those types of things. But it should be whoever coach did the best job that year, right? Like, I think that should be the most heavily influenced dynamic.
Kyle, which tell take do you want me to put up?
My producer's pulling something up real quick.
Oh, okay. Your producer's working on something? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I don't know what
I want to know what the voting was for AP Coach of the Year last year.
Okay,
here you go.
Breakdown.
Here you go. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski got 25 out of 50 votes. Sean McDermott got 7. Brian Flores got 6. Ron Rivera got 4. Matt LaFleur got 3. Andy Reid got 3. And Sean Payton got 2. Those are the coaches that got votes and the distribution of their votes. So I guess the hard thing about proposing any kind of context behind AP National Awards is oftentimes context requires league-wide attention for all 32 teams. And I don't know who's voting on AP Coaches of the Year, but I don't necessarily know if I would trust everybody to have that kind of context, to have nuance to that award. Does it make sense? Like, it's just easier to be like, oh, yeah, this guy, his team won 13 games, so he's going to get my vote, right, when I don't associate them with typically being a team that has success. Hi, Sean. Thanks for making it to a live stream.
Yes.
We're glad
Welcome,
to have
Sean.
you.
Joe, you look like you were trying to formulate
I'm good. It's complicated because I definitely agree with what Kyle is saying, and part of me is disappointed that people that cover a specific team don't have much of a grasp for what's happening across the rest of the NFL. So it makes me ask questions that I don't really know the answer to about who is on this AP ballot, and are they a lot of national guys, or is it just, the most prominent beat reporters for specific teams?
There was some criticism from Sean that I didn't get to his take, so I'm going to put it up here. So doesn't appear that I'm playing favorites. This one from Sean. Take Kenny Golladay will be top 10 in receiving yards and tight ends, and then he also adds a note that I'm not reading out loud because it's just a lot of words.
It's like, what's that meme? It's like, I'm happy for you, but I'm not reading all that.
Yeah,
or sorry.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's up on the screen. Everybody can, you can see it.
Kenny Golladay, top 10 in receiving yards of TD. I can see TDs. I mean, top 10 in TDs is probably 7 touchdowns? 8 touchdowns?
He can do it. Yeah. I mean, and they paid him a ton of money. There's going to be an emphasis to get him the football.
Okay, but what happens if Saquon Barkley's completely healthy, and what happens if Evan Ingram's completely healthy and Sterling Shepard's they got a lot of potential options. So that's why I could definitely see the touchdowns with his ability in the red zone and being a contested catch guy in tight spaces. But if you could only give me one, I'd go TDs over receiving yards.
I would agree with you. As a dynasty owner of Kenny Golladay, I am hoping for this.
You make a lot of dynasty league references in the last 3 months. I don't know when this became a thing.
Trying to win a championship, and I want people to support me.
Which tell take did you want me to put up, Kyle? The Marshall Faulk take or the Troy Aikman take?
I saw the Troy Aikman take.
Okay, so I'll put that one up then. Take Troy Aikman wasn't good. Whispers Jim Kelly was far better.
I think you might have a couple of overrated quarterbacks here.
You're going to call Jim Kelly overrated? Really?
I don't think he's in the conversation to be like I don't think he's one of the 10 best quarterbacks of all time or anything like that. I mean, obviously, statistically, he certainly doesn't measure up statistically. I think where you create a fondness for Jim Kelly and his legacy was running that up-tempo K-gun offense where he called the plays, and it was still run-heavy, but it was one of the more early iterations of what we kind of see in modern NFL offenses with a lot of different spread concepts. So I do think for the offensive evolution of the game, and obviously a lot of team success that the Bills had, but if you're going to bring up statistics, Jim Kelly's not really going to measure up with a lot of the all-time greats. Now, Troy Aikman, obviously, 3 Super Bowls, right, as a quarterback of team that maybe a lot of people could have won the Super Bowl with. But, and statistically, he certainly doesn't measure up. I think Jim Kelly probably statistically a better quarterback than Troy Aikman. But it's hard to – it's like you could say what you want about Troy Aikman, but maybe he was the right quarterback at the right time for that team.
I think the best – this is completely unrelated, but it is related to Troy Aikman. The best thing that ever happened to Eli Manning is Troy Aikman being in the Hall of Fame, because it has opened the door for Eli Manning with 2 Super Bowl championships, both over the New England Patriots, and the moments that happened in those games, and the fact that he had longevity, so he has some semblance of volume statistics. If I'm Eli Manning, I say, you put Troy in. Where's my jacket? That would be the entirety of my conversation. Because as you said, statistically speaking, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I watched Troy Aikman on like a week by week basis, right? Like I was born in 89. I think he was drafted in 90. So
he was drafted in 89.
89, excuse me. I'm the goose here. That's fine. So their last championship was 95.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was 6. Obviously, from a statistical standpoint, Troy's resume is not overwhelming, and it was a different era of football, but at the same time, he did win championships, and as Joe said, he may have been the right choice for them, and Jimmy Johnson was there when they made that choice to go with Troy Aikman. So I actually think they went with quarterbacks back-to-back years early, if I'm not mistaken.
I had no idea. I didn't know that.
Your producer's working on it here. Please hold.
Okay. Yeah, bet. Jalen, listen, I'm not telling you I would vote for Eli to make the Hall of Fame. Eli says he led the league in interceptions like 6 times. I'm saying if I'm Eli Manning, my conversation and my debate is based on Troy Aikman won 3 Super Bowls and had a 165 to 144, 141, thank you, Dolphins grace, touchdown interception ratio. And I'm going to point to that. And I'm going to say he's in for having a championship pedigree. Why would I not?
It's a good point.
I don't see in either the 88 or the 90 draft in which they took a quarterback, but that doesn't mean that you are incorrect in that. It was just a quick look on my part.
There was some weird quirk about it. I wrote about it last summer, but my details are obviously wrong, and this is a live stream, so let's not waste too much time.
Sure. This is a take that I'm going to throw up there that might be just a poor attempt at reading the room, but I'll throw it up there. This one from Kyle. Take, Shark Week was never good.
I like Shark Week.
Okay, so my concern was that just the concept of Shark Week is not popular among the dudes of the show. That was my concern.
Yeah, I'm not going out of my way to prioritize watching anything on TV that's not football, though. So, and I never really have. So that I guess it's hard for me. I enjoy watching nature shows. I do. Kyle's pointing at me.
After saying he didn't want to dwell on it, he went and found the correction. Go ahead, Kyle.
The Cowboys used a first-round pick in the supplemental draft in '89 to pick Steve Walsh.
Oh, wow.
And drafted Troy Aikman in the first round of the '89 draft.
Okay. Thank you for
first-round pick in the '89 supplemental draft. There it is.
Thank you. I appreciate that correction here for the show. Let me find another take.
It's not a correction. I was correct. And I didn't touch on Shark Week yet. Let's pump the brakes.
The simulated shark attacks annoy me.
Shark Week, I've never seen a single second of Shark Week, ever.
Oh, no.
There's just no need for it.
Shark Week sucks now because everything is they've got the Megalodon mockumentaries and the mermaid bullshit. Yeah. And come on, let's have some, I understand you got to drive interest, but when I was a kid, and it was terrible timing because every year we had a timeshare down in Florida in the Gulf of Mexico, and it was the same week as Shark Week. So I, as a kid, would get up, turn on the TV, flip through. Animal Planet, I was a big animal kid, what was it? Animal Planet or National Geographic?
Shark Week is
Animal Planet.
Discovery. Yeah, it tells you when's the last time I watched it. They turned me off 5 years ago, and I would watch it then. And I really enjoyed the nature conservation bit of it. But they've now alienated that by chasing views by manufacturing pretend shows.
Yeah,
I have a random question too. You guys been on weather.com lately?
Yes.
No. Weather.com's objective is what?
To give you the weather.
To give you the weather. Do you know what they don't do a lot of?
Give you the weather.
Giving you the weather. Did you know they now have a premium subscription model that in order to see the 15-minute breakdowns of what the weather's going to be, it'll tell you what 15 minutes from right now is. But if you want the next 15 minutes out and beyond that, the 15-minute increments, you got to do the premium subscription model.
I just go, hey, Siri, what's the weather?
There you go.
Siri answered it for you. What did it say? Cloudy?
Partly
with a chance
cloudy,
of meatballs?
73 degrees. Just got rain here. It was actually a thunderstorm. I was nervous we were going to lose power.
Oh.
Yeah, we had monsoons over the weekend that almost threatened the power here.
Monsoons?
Yeah.
You get rain season. 3 times a year?
It's monsoon season from about this time through October, okay?
Okay.
Monsoon season. Javelinas and then monsoon season, man.
Yeah, what a
rattlesnakes and everything. You live somewhere weird, man.
Braden, the home run derby would be the answer to this question. I, as the biggest baseball fan in the world, or at least on this show, not a fan of the MLB's All-Star festivities. I don't think they do a great job, but I would watch the Home Run Derby. Let me find a take. I think Raul had a take that I wanted to put up here.
Ooh.
Yes. Carson Wentz will average for more yards per game this coming year than Phillip Rivers did last season.
Imagine telling us that without telling us what Phillip Rivers averaged last season.
Right. He wants us to do the work.
I'm on it. Unless Chris is on it, in which case
I'm on it. Your producer of the show's on it, but you just,
260.6 yards per game.
Okay. But now I need to see what Carson Wentz has done in his entire career to see how I feel about that.
Washington Octopuses.
Is somebody?
Jalen says Washington Octopus. Octopi, isn't it? Octopi?
If it was multiple, it would be octopi. Yes. Oh, they should have just stayed with the Washington football team, but that is what it is. Are you going to look it up, Joe? You going to produce me on that?
One of all the things Joe could possibly decide to plant.
Thanks for participating in the producing of the show. Really appreciate it. That's where you're going to help us out.
Is it octopuses or octopi?
I need to know the answer.
So are we buying or selling Rahul's take? We never answered.
So Carson Wentz only bested that number once in his
2017. I bet.
2018.
2018, really?
He did 279.5. 2017, he had 253.5. So the only time he was above the 260 number is the 2018 season.
I'm selling. They got a lot of horses in the run game.
They do. With a very
they got
good
a really good offensive line to run the football. I'm not blown away by their wide receiver core this year. So go ahead and mark me down for the under on Carson Wentz at 260.6.
See, Grammarly says octopuses.
Really appreciate your
contribution. It's a Greek word.
Owen has explained it.
Yeah, Owen has explained it. Just look at the stream, and the explanation is there.
There we go.
So
the Washington Octopuses.
I wouldn't go with that name. That's just my suggestion. I wouldn't go with that.
Like hard pass.
Thanks. Glad we figured this out. No.
They should just go with Washington football team. Somebody asked what his numbers were in 17, and in 2017 he had 253.5 yards per game.
Oh, so he would need to be better than he was in 17 from a yards per game perspective.
But 2018 was his best year in that regard. Thanks for joining the conversation, Joe. Really appreciate it.
2018 looking up octopuses.
Right, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. He's rejoined the conversation,
True.
So I figured I'd help him out here. 2018 was his best year at 279.5. So
selling.
you'd have to be better than 2018, Carson.
There you go.
I'm selling.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Smart.
Oh, Andrew, I don't know what you've done with me with this take, but I have to put it up there. Take, we know more about space than we know about the ocean.
The deep ocean, yes.
Space?
But come on. You're telling me that we know more about space. The ocean is a finite space.
Yes.
Right.
Like there's a number to it.
That has been unobserved.
Right, but I'm here to tell you.
There's way more of space that hasn't been observed.
Right, and I think there's more things in space that could do the entire planet harm than there is in the ocean. Because again, it's a finite resource. It's not a finite resource, but it's a finite area of space.
Do we know more about space
I'm selling this take.
Than the ocean?
I'm selling this take.
We have better maps of the surface of Mars than we do the bottom of the ocean.
And I get that, but the ocean has an end point. Like there's a point where you can't go any further. Space, we don't know how far it goes.
Listen, for all you know, there's a black hole under the crust in the Mariana Trench.
This is correct. Sir.
Yep.
I have not seen that movie. This is correct.
There it is.
But dude, space is awesome, but we do not know a lot about space.
You guys, you're more than entitled to your opinion, but your opinion is wrong.
That's like your opinion about Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd from the other day.
The people agreed with me, though.
Wait, Kyle, you're really serious about this?
Yes.
You think? Wait, the fact that in your argument is that we have pictures of the surface of Mars, but not the bottom of the ocean?
Argument over. Like space is infinitely larger than the ocean.
Okay.
Like
I'm larger than my dog, but it doesn't guarantee that you know more about my dog. Do you know what my dog's thinking? If I locked you in a room with my dog, would you know what my dog's thinking, or would you know what I'm thinking if you asked us both the same question? Well, Kyle can talk. The dog can't talk. So I'm bigger than my dog, but you know more about me than my dog.
I don't like this example because both of those examples are finite. They are not ever expanding like spaces. You know what? Great call, Jalen. Calling the Washington
really
space octopi.
Oh,
I'm not calling
gosh.
I watched The Martian. Have you guys seen that movie?
Yes, it's a good movie.
Very good movie, yes.
Yeah,
Not the best space movie, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
Bit of an Interstellar fan myself, but I had to take this one from Trapper. Packers are still a playoff team with Jordan Love under center.
The ultimate wild card in the NFL this year. The ultimate wild card.
You know what's funny about this whole conversation about the Packers and Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers is during the 2020 NFL draft, this is exactly what they anticipated, right? Was like Jordan Love taking over as their starting quarterback. And here we are, right? Like this is kind of the plan. and probably they're in more position than they anticipated to get a return for Aaron Rodgers. So it's kind of, from a Packers perspective, it's kind of like exactly the bed they wanted to sleep in. But Aaron Rodgers was the undoubted MVP of the NFL last year, and that really complicated things. I'm not sure I answered the question, but
I don't think you did
from a
either.
Packers perspective, this is what they want. And so they must have felt like they could compete. And the NFC is pretty wide open. I think the remainder of team in Green Bay is very good. I wish that they had a little bit more stability on the offensive line like they had in the past. I wish that they did have a little bit more in terms of pass catchers to complement Jordan Love. But defensively, this team has a lot to like. And, I mean, Devontae Adams, one of the best receivers in the game. They got a really exciting running back in Aaron Jones. Like, there's enough here to think that this team can keep their head above water, challenge for 8, 9, 10 wins, and that might be enough to get you into a 7-seed playoff field in the NFC.
They also have a pretty easy division in that regard, right? Where they get to play the Lions twice a year. They get to play Minnesota. Chicago could be tough, but we don't know what that quarterback situation is going to look like. Bill Butler says, take Giants will be top 10 in sacks.
Bill always brings a good take. Top
Where were
10.
they last year?
Please hold.
And what? So,
how are we
Williams,
getting there? I guess is the you're betting on Leonard Williams being equal to what he was last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were tied for 12th last year with 2.5 sacks per game.
How did you find that so quickly?
I got my ways.
I'm still looking.
I think that's the challenge. I think they need to repeat the production from Leonard Williams and find a little bit more. So, like, you're counting on some of these young guys, O'Shane, Ximenez, taking a step. I mean, don't they have some other players just like that?
Did we, by the way, did we see that Pro Football Reference retroactively went back and added sacks going back to 1960, which is just chef's kiss. That's amazing.
I did see that. Lorenzo Carter, Ryan Anderson.
I mean, they had Leonard Williams with 11.5 last year, and then their next highest was Dexter Lawrence and Kyler Fackrell with 4 apiece.
Azeez Ojulari is here. Ellerson Smith.
Yeah. Okay, what do you want to set the over-under on Azeez Ojulari sacks at this year?
Honestly, like 4.
I feel like we did this. Hold on.
We had this conversation to some degree, and it was more about like Ojulari and his translation to the NFL because of what his style of play and success was at Georgia. No bet.
No bet.
So I don't know how much of an impact he's getting. So you're going to have death by 1,000 paper cuts here, where everybody's going to have to step up and have 3-4 sacks apiece. I just don't know if they have a guy other than if Leonard Williams is able to replicate having 11.5 sacks last year, which was a phenomenal year. if you're going to have enough of a presence to command improving on what you did last year.
It'll be close. It'll be close.
I say they're top 16.
Yeah, the top half of the league.
Yeah, but I don't know about top 10. I'd probably sell that.
You want one more?
Yeah, one more force. Yeah,
sure. This one from Josh. Take the AFC East standings will be closer than the NFC West standings.
That's interesting.
Are we assuming like distance from first place team to last place team, or how many teams within X number of games at the top?
Josh, you have 60 seconds to answer that question.
1, Mississippi. 2, Mississippi. 3, Mississippi.
Well, yeah, I think the Jets kind of, if that's the case, the Jets I don't think are going to be hanging.
Yeah.
But I think.
Sorry,
Josh, that doesn't help us. Just you saying correct.
I think
we listed
that
out
distance from top to bottom. I think that's what he meant. I think we've talked a lot about the Patriots and them being a 7-win team with that roster they had last year. It's much better this year. Miami won 10 games, and they're better. The Bills won 13. I think those teams are going to be fairly close. The problem is one of those teams could win 12, 13 games. The Jets could win 5 or 6, and that discrepancy is huge. Like Arizona, we think they're the worst team in the West. They're probably going to win 7, 8 games. So you go like from 7 to 12.
Chris is not buying this.
Yeah, because
he's a Jets fan and he lives in Arizona, so he's down on the Cardinals.
But you also know how high I am on the 49ers.
Wait. Are you willing to make a bet right now?
Oh, let's go.
More wins in 2021, Jets or Cardinals? I'm taking the Cardinals, by the way.
Do it.
I'm going to owe so many boxes of Built Bars at the end of the season.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it, Shub.
I mean, I'm just looking at how many I have. We don't have one. Oh, we do have one. We have the 49er Ram one. I was thinking that we didn't have one, so I wanted to get one.
And we, of course, the Houston Texans, baby.
Well, that one's
5 years
down the road.
No, that's the long-term play.
That's a long-term one. Man, I'm so down.
That is beside themselves.
Shuby, here's what I want you to do.
To state that.
Like, if you believe it, then take it. But if don't do it just to do it. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you honestly believe it, take the bet.
You know how I feel about the Jets this year, that I think you guys are a little low on them, right? And I think they can be in that 6-7 win mark.
Okay.
I think the Cardinals could bottom out and win 4 or 5 games next year. Man, the chat is just they're trying to save me from myself, and I appreciate.
I kind of am too. That's why I'm like, dude, if you really believe this, then take it.
No, if you were trying to save him from yourself, you wouldn't have proposed it to be a formal bet. So you can't sit here and play the nobility card.
Take it. I'm trying to get free Built Bars, man.
I'm going to kick myself at the end of the year when this ends up being right, and I'm going to be able to play this back. But I'm not going to take the bet. I'm going to pass.
Oh. What a buzzkill to end the stream.
Yeah,
but that's all we have time for here on the show. All of our live streams are brought to you by our friends at Mighty Swell, the most delicious adult seltzer. Chris has a tease announcement that I have no idea what it is. Joe has no idea what it is. So
I do.
We're going to sit around a campfire here. Go ahead and break it down for us, Chris.
27 minutes from now on the Draft Network Twitter account, we are hosting our first ever Twitter Spaces. It is going to be Trevor Sikkema, myself, and the newest member of the TDN team, Keith Sanchez, is going to be joining us. A little intro of him. He's on the scouting team now, so he's going to intro himself to everybody, and we're going to hang out and have a good time, talk football, talk about Keith for about half an hour, 45 minutes. Yes, Kyle.
You got to give Keith a little bit more due than that. Guy worked in player personnel for the LSU Tigers for 4 seasons. He's got a great resume. He's going to be a great asset to us here at TDN. We're super excited to have him. 8:30 on Twitter Spaces. He's joined our team in the last couple of weeks. He's been in on some of the scouting meetings. He's got great perspective. And he was at LSU for 4 seasons. He was a part of the championship team in 2019. So you're definitely going to tune in and listen to Chris and Trevor chat it up with Keith.
Yeah, so just an intro to him, and we're just going to ask him about all the stuff Kyle just mentioned. Trevor and I had a chance to sit down with him a little bit earlier today and kind of get some behind the scenes. So we've got some fun little stories that we're going to tell. So yeah, if you can make it over there about 26 minutes from now, I believe it's going to be on the official Draft Network Twitter account. Don't quote me on that. Trevor might be hosting it on his Twitter account, but it's going to be in one of those 2 places. I'll retweet it from my account, and I'll make sure Kyle and Joe do the same as well. So you can see that there. So that's it. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to tease that for the bottom of the hour.
and we're done here. My live stream is brought to you by Mighty Swell. We hope you have a Mighty Swell evening. Hope you join us at 8:30. Have a good one.